I've now come further along the embankment to Westminster, and I'm here to meet a group of women firefighters who've come to lobby their MPs about proposed changes to their pensions.
My name's Leanne Byrne. I'm a firefighter from West Midlands. It's going to have a huge effect on obviously my family. I've just recently had maternity leave, which meant that I've had a break from the pension. My concern is obviously the increase in contributions. I'm going to have to consider coming out of it because I just won't be able to afford, with rise in childcare costs and the rise of most things these days, I just won't be able to afford to stay in the pension, and that's a real worry for myself and obviously my family.
As you can hear around, we've got the helicopters going, we've got sirens going, there's lots of protests going on today. Do you think it's going to be hard to make your voices heard amongst all the other people who are protesting today?
Well, we're going to give it a good try, and as you can see, we do a fantastic job, the emergency services, and it seems like we're the ones that are getting hit for these, and I don't think the book lies really with us.
Denise, so talk to me about why we're here today.
Well, we're here as a National Women's Committee, Women Firefighters and Women Firefighters Control. We're here to lobby our MPs in Parliament to let them know of the detrimental changes the pension reforms have on women.
Thank you very much.
You like the ambulance staff, run towards it. And when Cameron was talking about the riots, about every fifth answer he gave, he said, well, I'd like to praise the firefighters and the ambulance staff and the accident emergencies and the police and this, that, and the other. And I was practically throwing up towards the end, so I got up and said to him, I welcome him praising you and the ambulance staff and people like that, but would he follow up his warm words with some warm action and abandon his proposals, in effect, to bugger up your pensions? And I think because I noticed Justine Greening goes down to that horrible motorway crash and said all the same things, and I think you should write to your MPs, whoever they are, saying, look, if you're serious about praising us, stop buggering up our pensions. And I think you should, and you should mention what Greening said, and then say, get on with it,
Put your money where your mouth
is. Walk the walk. Or whatever phrase you use, because I think that is their biggest weakness. I know we're having rational discussions about it all, but they aren't into rational discussions. They're into the possibility of the Daily Mail getting upset. And if you can get the Daily Mail on your side over this sort of thing, about hypocrisy, then I think that might be a way forward. That's all I've got to say. I've got to flash off and see somebody else now.
Okay, this is Lucy May from Wiltshire, a watch manager at Trowbridge. Lucy, why have you come up here today and who have you lobbied?
We lobbied Andy Morrison, who's our local Conservative MP. I've come here today just because I'm incensed, like everybody else, about what they're going to try and do to our pension.
And how did he receive your questions?
He was receptive, appeared to be receptive. He says he's going to write a letter to Danny Alexander. He can't sign up for the early day motion because he's a ministerial aide.
Right.
But yeah, he was receptive. He's also on a military pension, so we think he's probably, understands a little bit more about how pension works, although it's obviously a non-contributory pension scheme.
Great, thanks Lucy. So from your point of view, it's been worth coming?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great. And Val, did you talk to him about the LGPS?
I spoke at length with Andrew Morrison about the LGPS in the fact that it is a fund holding pension, it isn't in deficit, and that it was not acceptable to those that are paying into the LGPS that A, that we have to work until we're nearly 68 to retire, and B, that they're taking money out of that to pay off a deficit that wasn't actually our fault.
Okay, thanks Val. Who have you come to lobby today, Sarah?
Lucy Egan Swales is the MP for Redcar, and talking to him about the impact of the proposed changes to the pensions.
And what did he have to say?
I went through a few things with it. he fully understood my concerns. However, he did say that the government need to consider the fact that people are working for longer and living longer. And to which I replied that the savings that they're hoping to make, in fact, if it's a large dropout rate like we're expecting, they will be making those savings.
Great point, that's really good. So ultimately, what did he say he was going to do?
He said he'd have a good look through the information. He was really pleased that we'd come down and spoke with him, and he was going to have a good look through and consider what he would do after he's read fully through the information.
Great, thanks Sarah.
Thank you.
Hi, Sian Griffiths, London. Can you tell me why you came today, Sian, and who you lobbied?
I came today as a member of the Fire Brigades Union and also, obviously, as a woman firefighter, because my pension is under threat. And I lobbied my MP, who's Glenda Jackson. Glenda has already signed the early day motion in support of the FBU's claim against pension reform, early day motion 2049, so I know that she supports us, but today we talked a bit more about the specifics of why we as members of the National Women's Committee of the Fire Brigades Union are actually lobbying our MPs, and the arguments that we're putting across for women who are currently only just about 4% of the National Fire Rescue Service.
Okay, hi, this is Jo Byrne, Region 8 Women's Rep. Jo, so who have you come to lobby today?
I've already lobbied my MP today, Madeline Moon, Labour MP for Brigades. She was very engaging and accommodating, agreed with why we were lobbying. She thinks lobbies are a really productive method of bringing attention to ministers.
Great, did she sign the DM?
She hasn't signed it yet, but she's not keen on early day motions, but she promised that she would raise parliamentary questions which she feels are more beneficial in her experience.
Fantastic, thanks Jo.
Lessons of the past were all learned with workers' blood. Mistakes of the bosses we must pay for. From the cities and the farmlands to trenches full of mud. War has always been the bosses' way, sir. The union forever defending our rights. Down with the black leather workers unite. With our brothers and our sisters in many far-off lands. There is power in our union. Now I long for the morning that they realise brutality and unjust laws cannot defeat us. But who'll defend the workers who cannot organise? And the bosses send their lackeys out to cheat us. Money speaks for money, the devil